Welcome back, y'all. This is part 2 of a 10 to 15 minute natural video. Now, me recording this is going to take a couple more minutes than 10 to 15 minutes, but it's because I'm talking and getting a groove. But when you're actually at home, it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes because you're not having to, explain the details and the steps. So where we left off is taking a very creamy concealer or something very natural and sheer and just placing a little bit under your eyes. While that is kind of setting down a little bit to give you like that natural glow, like, I just came from the beach, or, I woke up, I did, we didn't, but we did. We're going to take some liquid highlighter. It's like liquid gold in a bottle, and this is going to give your skin that glow. I'm only doing one dot, okay? One dot. And then to pair with that, to kind of give you like that flustered or, like that natural blush tone, take something of a sense of something more warm, depending on your undertones and skin tones. But since we're talking about dark skin girlies, I will opt for something more warm tone, like peachy, orange, plum, with like the warm undertone. Nothing cool, because this is natural and skin-like. So the skin, we want it to appear more vibrant. So I'm going to take this blush here, and I'm going to do one swipe. Because if you use these blushes before, that's really all you need, unless you're extra like me and you love full blush. But today ain't that type of party. So now what we're going to do is take a little hydrating setting spray. Mist your skin. That is so important when you want it to look so radiant and like glowy. So now what we're going to do is blend those together up into your skin, and you can kind of like flick this step just to kind of like shear it out to look like this is coming from underneath your skin. And then you can pat it just a little bit to give you that full coverageness in the middle, and then you want to kind of shear out those edges. Shear those edges out. And you can take it as high as you like, up into your temples a little here. Now me, I like to put a little on my nose here, just a little bit. And that's that on that. Now we're gonna go back to that concealer. Now me, I am a girl who loves to blend out concealer with a brush. Sometimes I use a sponge, but I want it to look like skin today, so we're gonna opt for a sponge. I gotta sneeze, y'all. All right, y'all, we back. So I'm gonna take a little sponge here, and I'm gonna kind of wet it with that hydrating spray we took here. You don't want your sponge sopping wet or soaking wet. You want it to kind of have a little moisture to it. So when you blend out the concealer, it looks almost like airbrushed in a sense. And you're going to do the same thing with the under eye. I am lightly tapping my under eye just because we didn't use a lot of concealer, and I don't want to blend the concealer down too much, but I still do want to be able to tell the difference that my under eyes are highlighted, because over blending is a thing. You don't want to over blend it, especially if you're not using a lot of product. So I'm just going on top and blending that concealer from when we kind of carved out our brows, and that's how your under eyes should look. Really glowy, really dewy. Now, if you are a person who gets oily fast, you want to use powder. I recommend powder with any look. If it's a glowy look, if it's a matte look, of course, you still want to use minimum powder. You don't have to use a whole bunch and bake and set and carve and all that. You still want to use powder. Powder's your friend. Even if you're super dry, powder's your friend. But especially under the eyes, you want to set the under eyes a little bit. So we're going to take some loose powder under your eyes. And you're just going to dab that under your eyes. And anywhere you highlighted. So on the chin. On the eyes. Just like that. And I'm using minimal powder is essential. Minimal powder. And I'm just swooping it all across where we highlighted at. Just to set those areas down. Just like that. And now to kind of, lightly powder the rest of your skin, you can take whatever your foundation powder is and just take a big fluffy brush and just lightly pat that all over. So you're not like super duper shiny, but you can still see the glow in your skin. This is going to help with longevity throughout the day without it sliding off. You still need a little bit of powder. And I'm just hitting it all over the skin. Now by this time, you should be like 8 minutes in or 7 minutes into this. And then the rest, you should have enough time to add any little thing you want. So now it's go time, I'm just taking some bronzer. We're not going to contour today. We want to keep it really natural and quick. This is on the go routine. And I'm just adding some bronzer to the skin. Okay? Now, if you want to add a little bit more blush, you can. If you want to keep it really glowy, you can. Me, I want to add a little bit of powder that's kind of like the same skin tone. Not the same skin tone, y'all. The same color as that liquid blush we put on. And I'm just hitting that where we put the liquid blush earlier. Now we're gonna add a little highlighter here. Just a little. Give it that fresh glow. And I'm just putting that on top of the blush. On top. Okay. The skin should be coming together now. Now, if you have time, last thing you should be putting on is mascara and lip, and that'll be 10 minutes. If you had extra time, you could even drug like some, I always concentrate on mascara. You can even drug some of that bronzer on your eye and that highlighter to your eye if you have 15 minutes. But this here that we just did is like 10 minutes. Okay? And by this time, what I'm gonna do as well is go ahead and put on your lip combo. I'm just taking a brown lip liner in your lip of your choice, whether that is matte, glossy, anything. But since we're going for like the fresh skin look we've been doing, I'm gonna take just some gloss. And like I said, I'm actually on crunch time right now, y'all, as we speak. And I'm just taking like a gloss that's kind of peachy how we had it. And this should be your 10 to 15 minute look, guys. It looks like skin, looks like makeup. I mean, it looks like skin. We don't want it to look like makeup. That was the agenda, make it look like skin. And yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. I have so many more videos and content coming your way. Thank y'all for all the support and love. And yeah, make sure y'all tag Avion the artist. I love you guys.